Good morning, students. Just reply if you listen my voice. Listen my voice. So just reply yes or no whether you are having my voice or not. Okay. Good morning, dear students. If you have any questions in your mind, so just ask in chat box, but at the end of lecture. So one announcement for all of you, that don't post your roll number during the lecture. I will ask in between lectures or at the end of the lecture. That time you have to post your roll number in chat box. So hope you all have in a good health. So before starting of our lecture, I would like to wish you all a very happy Ganesh festival. So dear students, today we are going to discuss about how to start the study of pharmaceutical chemistry, because this is very important that you must know how to start the study, because many of students have a fear in their mind that they have not interested in the study of pharmaceutical chemistry. So let's start with some tricks and some tips for study of this pharmaceutical chemistry too. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about what is the actual syllabus as per the Pharmacy Council of India. Then we are going to discuss how to study the question paper and how to do the analysis, and on the basis of that analysis, how to start our study. Then we are going to discuss about some tips, some tricks for the study of the pharmaceutical chemistry too. How to start to prepare our own notes. Like that, we are going to discuss in the tips and tricks section. And last session is on how to remember the chemical structure, because chemical structure is a very important part of this pharmaceutical chemistry too. So let's start with the syllabus. As you know very well that our syllabus having two parts, that is A part and B part. A part means what? The introduction to the nomenclature of organic chemical system, and B part is for the chemistry of following pharmaceutical organic compounds. And it contains some other chapters also. And it must having around 30 to 35 chapters. If you observe the syllabus very carefully, you will find out that there is asterisk marks on some of the name of the compounds, that is drugs. You can say it as a star mark, means you have to study the chemical structure of that compounds, those with the asterisk mark. So if you see that your syllabus is start with the nomenclature of organic chemical system. This is very important, because if you know the different types of functional groups, if you know how to name that functional groups, then it will help you to draw the structure of drugs. Because if you are trying to mark the structures, then it is very difficult to remember the chemical structure at the time of exam. So instead of mugging of the chemical structure, if you able to remember it effectively, then it will be very easy to attempt the questions in exam papers. If you follow the tips and tricks given by me during this 1 year, you will be definitely able to remember the chemical structure very effectively. So for that purpose, your study should be start with the nomenclature of organic chemical systems. Already you have studied it in 12th science, but here some revision is most important, because if you revise it, you will find out there are some functional groups. Those are available in the structure of our drug. And second part of your syllabus is the chemistry of drug, because we are going to study about their chemistry. So this chemistry includes the classification, nomenclature, chemical structures, means chemical structure of those drugs marked with asterisk. Then we are going to study about the uses, physical and chemical properties, stability and storage condition, types of pharmaceutical formulation. Then you are going to study about the popular brand name. As we have seen in first lecture that there are certain types of pharmaceutical organic compounds, including the chemotherapy, drug acting on central nervous system and ANS, so on. So we will find the list in syllabus. So let's start our today's topic, that is how to do a study of pharmaceutical chemistry-II. Before to start the study of pharmaceutical chemistry-II, you must revise the IUPAC nomenclature rules of each and every functional groups. And then after that, you have to study the IUPAC nomenclature rules for the compounds having multiple functional groups. Means, suppose in one of the compound, it contain alcohol and carboxylic acid. Then how to name that compound? It's very important. So we are going to discuss about this in upcoming lectures. So today only we are going to discuss how to study our pharmaceutical chemistry-II throughout this 1 year. Then you must know how to draw the common heterocyclic rings. This is very important. If you know the structure of heterocyclic ring and if you know the functional groups, then it will be very easy to remember the chemical structure of drug. I will repeat. If you know the structure of the common heterocyclic rings and if you know how to name that functional groups and structure of functional group, then it will be very easy to remember, to draw or remember the structure of pharmaceutical drugs. So for that purpose, you need to start the work on IUPAC nomenclature rules, and you need to start the practice of common heterocyclic rings. Then we are going to study about the pharmaceutical organic compounds. Already, I have posted around 19 to 20 videos on the IUPAC nomenclature system, and most of you have seen it. If you have not gone through this video, I request you, before attending the next lecture, you must go through all these videos, because next lecture we are having a discussion how to name the different compounds containing different organic functional groups. So our next lecture is on Wednesday. So before our next lecture, you must gone through all these videos. Already link is shared, and I will share a link in your chat box also at the end of this lecture. You can watch this video, because from next lecture we are going to discuss about the IUPAC nomenclature systems. You must know the functional groups, as already we have discussed. The alcohol means it contains ROH. Then ethers functional groups containing ROR. Why it is important? Because if you know the functional groups, it is very useful to remember the chemical structures. If you seen the structure of general anesthetics, then you will find out that it will containing the ether functional groups. Some of the drugs also having the amine functional groups. So you must know the general structure of functional groups. Then some of the drugs are having this carbonyl functional group, that is C double bond. But this carbonyl functional groups also has the different types of functional groups. That is, it contains the carboxylic acids, that is RCOOH, then aldehydes, that is RCHO, ketones, RC double bond OR, then esters, RC double bond OR, and amides. And some of the compounds containing nitro functional groups, some of the compounds containing nitrile functional groups. So you must start the study of the functional groups. At least you must know their general chemical formula, so that you will be remembered to incorporate these functional groups onto the heterocyclic ring, and then heterocyclic ring will convert to the structure of your drug. Now next part is how to do a question paper analysis. This is very important part, as our MSBT website has a set of question papers already uploaded of previous exam. If you see, I have taken one question paper for you, that is MSBT examination conducted at winter 2019. And if you read the question paper, you will find out that, suppose I will read one question, give structure and method of numbering, that is heterocyclic ring. It is for 2 marks. Then here, some question is like that, define the following terms, give 2 brand names, give the dosage form of the following drugs, or write the structure of following groups. So these are the functional groups, some other functional groups, isn't it? Then give the uses of some drugs, classification of some of the compounds, then write the structure of some of the drugs again. Then name the drug present in following brands. If you go on reading, you will find out that classification of some of the drugs along with structure, classification, structure, draw the structure and give the properties and uses. If you read it carefully, then you will find out that you must know the different types of questions asked during the exam. We are going to start the study by reverse manner. As first, you have to study the question paper, different types of question paper, means different examination like summer 19, winter 19, summer 18, winter 18. And then after reading of question paper repeatedly, then you will find out there is some pattern of question paper and how you have to start your study. If you read the question of question number 6 and F, what they have asked, what are local anesthetics? Write the structure, give chemical name of local anesthetic drugs having following chemical features. Means they have not directly asked draw the structure of chemical drug. What they have asked, draw the structure of local anesthetics having the following chemical feature, that is esters and amides. Then you have to draw the structure of drug of local anesthetics, those who contain the esteric functional groups. And secondly, you have to draw the structure of another drugs, those who contain the amide functional groups. That's why I have initially told that if you know the functional groups, then it will be very easy to remember the chemical structure, isn't it? So if you know the esteric functional groups, or if you know the amidic functional groups, then only you can able to draw the structure of local anesthetics who contain the dysfunctional groups. So this type of questions may ask in your exam. Then if you read the questions of question number 2 and C, you will find out that what is that question? Classify adrenergic drugs. Draw the structure of any one catecholamines. So here again they have asked the different questions. They directly don't ask draw the structure of adrenaline or non-adrenaline. They have not given the name of drug, but they have given the name of class, name of the functionality which is present in their structures. So you must know what are the catecholamines and what are the different drugs are under the catecholamines. If you hear my voice, just reply in your chat box, because you have to give your reply through the chat box only. So if you read question paper like that, then you have to find out the different types of question asked in summer 2019 and summer winter 2019. Okay, so see here, defined type of questions are for 20 marks in summer 2019, and for winter it is for 14 marks. Means I have done the analysis of each and every questions on one paper and then do the additions, and summary table is in front of you. So if you read this summary table very carefully, then you will come to know that what are the different types of questions asked in a exam. So define type of questions. If suppose here they have not asked the definition, that is classify adrenergic drugs, but you have to start your answer with the definition. So whenever such a type of questions they have asked, your answer should be start with the definition of that particular drug. See here question 2a, that is classify anti-malarial drugs, isn't it? So they have not asked the definition, but you must start your answer with the definition of anti-malarial drugs, then go for classifications along with the examples, and then try to attempt the next part of question. So this is so simple, isn't it? Again, you will find some of the questions like that. Here they directly ask the define diuretics. Give any one method of classification for diuretics with examples. So this question is for 3 marks. So I have divided 3 marks, 1 mark for definition of diuretics and 2 marks for classification. So once I have done all these analysis, I have prepared one summary table in front of you. Means for definition type of questions, there are at least 20 marks. For classification is 19 marks. And in winter, it will increase to 23 marks. For structure, it is 26 marks. So it is including options. It is not directly, because in your paper, they have asked attempt any 4 of the following, isn't it? So I have done this analysis, and analysis is in front of you, isn't it? And it is very important part in front of you, that if you know the analysis of question paper and if you know the different types of questions asked in an examination, then it will be very useful to you to start your examination. Sorry, start your study, start your preparation. Because you know that the definition type of questions are asked, different types of classification they have asked, most important in chemistry part, structure they have asked, uses they have asked for 25 marks or for 20 marks, isn't it? Then they have asked some properties, brand name, stability and storage, dosage forms, or pharmaceutical preparations. So now you know that the types of questions asked. Already we have seen the syllabus, isn't it? Now we have seen the question paper. Now we are come to know that the different types of questions asked in examinations or in Viva, isn't it? Now you have all the images in your mind, because you know the syllabus, you know the different types of question. Now it's up to you to start the study of your pharmaceutical chemistry 2. If you combine this serial number 1 and 2, you will find out that there are 39 marks, including options, covering the definition and classification for summer. And if you think about the winter 2019, it is for 37 marks. So if you study these 3 parts or 4th part very effectively, then it will be very easy to score the in pharmaceutical chemistry 2. I am saying that you will be able to have or secure a more score. I am not directly telling you that you will be able to pass, because you will get pass if you follow the methods which we have explained during this 1 year. You will be definitely pass, but we are thinking about the more knowledge. We are thinking about the more marks in your annual examinations as well as in sectional examinations. If you see, the definition, classification, structure, and uses is mostly contain more than 80 marks, including option. No doubt, because we are the students, and sometimes we forgot to write something during your examinations. But you have to study it very effectively. So, if you study this definition and classification parts, it will also cover some part of uses, and it will also cover the some part of structure also, because I will give you an idea how to remember the chemical structures depending upon classification. As already we have seen one of the question, that is draw the structure of catecholamines here, isn't it? So you have to know the name of drug grouped under catecholamines, because if you see the classification of adrenergic drug, the first class is catecholamines. So for that purpose, if you know the classification, it will be very easy to start the drawing of chemical structure, isn't it? So let's see how to start our own notes. So here I will give you some effective ways to start the study of pharmaceutical chemistry too. If you follow these effective ways to learn the pharmaceutical chemistry too, definitely it will be very useful to you. First part is, you have to start to take your own notes. Then you must follow the methods which I have given to remember the chemical structures. And you must know the common heterocyclic rings. You must know how to draw the common heterocyclic rings. No doubt, in upcoming lectures, we are going to discuss about these common heterocyclic rings also. But first, we have to finish the very basic organic chemistry, that is IUPAC nomenclature system. Then we will move on the common heterocyclic rings. If you know this, then it will be very easy to remember the chemical structure. Okay. So first part, how to start to make your own notes. So if you remember that, the first two type question is definition and classification. So let's start with this, that is definition and classification of that particular category, isn't it? So if you start your preparation of pharmaceutical chemistry too, you have to take two separate notebooks. One notebook, very small notebook, that is 100 pages notebook, is sufficient for writing the definition and classification of PC2, isn't it? In that notebook, there is only definition and classification. Apart from that, there is nothing. And if you take the notebooks, then your left side of your notebook is for pharmaceutical chemistry too, and right side is for pharmacology and toxicology subjects. So there is pharmaceutical chemistry on left side and pharmacology on right side. So 100 pages notebook is sufficient to complete the classification of all the drugs which are given in your syllabus. That is part B, isn't it? So if you have to write the classification based on chemical structures in part of pharmaceutical chemistry, and classification based on pharmacological actions or mode of actions or a mechanism of actions or dosage form in pharmacology part. Dear students, if you read the antiseptics and disinfectant from pharmaceutical chemistry, so that same drugs are available in pharmacology and toxicology subjects. So there is nothing difference between them. Only difference is that the classification methods in both subjects are different. In chemistry, you have to write down the classification based on chemical structure, and in pharmacology, you have to write down the classification on the basis of pharmacological actions, that is mode of actions or mechanism of actions, or sometimes it will be used in the form of dosage forms, in case of general anesthetics, isn't it? So if you follow this, so two classification in front of each others. So it will be very easy to remember the name of drugs as well as their class. So you have to start with the definition. So you have to first write down the definitions given in your chemistry books or given in during our lectures, and then write down the classification. So alcohols and aldehydes, halogen derivatives, phenols, dyes, surface active agents. So this is classification. It's based on the chemistry, isn't it? And you have to write down the classification of pharmacology along with definition. So here also you have to write down the definition on this page. So in front of both, that is it, in front of pharmaceutical chemistry, there is pharmacological classification. In front of pharmacology classification, there is pharmaceutical chemistry. Sometimes you will find out that the both classifications are same. So it will be very easy to remember the classification, isn't it? And one most important thing is that you have to read the syllabus before write down the classification and try to find out which drugs under the antiseptics and disinfectant having this asterisk mark, that is star, because we need to study the chemical structure of these compounds. So before to write down the classifications, you have to go on through the syllabus. Already during first lecture I have shared this copy of syllabus. If you don't have that copy, you can get it. I will share it again in chat box at the end of this lecture. Okay. And then you have to mention the heterocyclic ring present in that structure in the bracket. If you follow this method, it will be very easy to remember the structure of drug. So in this notebook, you are going to what? Just write down the definition and classification in one page for pharmaceutical chemistry. And for on right page, you have to write down the definition and classification of pharmacology and toxicology subjects. Then, if you have some space, then here you can write down some important points from that chapter. But don't use the next page. You have to utilize all the lines of that particular page. So once you just turn to the next page, then you have to write down the classification of next chapter, that is sulfonamides or any other chapters, whatever you want. But if you write this classification of antiseptics from pharmaceutical chemistry, so in front of that page, you must write the classification of same drugs, same class, same chapters in pharmacology session. So it will be very easy to study the both subjects. So this is the one of the smart way, because you people are very smart as you are using the smartphones very smartly. So your method of study should be smart. So this is the one of the way we can say it as the smart way to study the pharmaceutical chemistry, isn't it? So if you do a study like that, then what will the benefits? So here I will show you the benefits. Already we have seen this question paper analysis. These 4 type of questions we have covered from this one page, from classification page. How? Already we have written the definition here, and you have written the definition 2 times. That is one in pharmaceutical page, another in pharmacological. So here by writing the definition 2 times, definitely it will be very useful to you to remember the definition. So you will be able to attempt the questions of defined type, isn't it? Already you have written the classifications, so you will be able to attend the classification type questions. And then if you have this habit to write down the name of heterocyclic ring present in the structure of drug, then it will be very easy to remember the chemical structures. How? I will explain in few minutes, isn't it? So This type of questions also you can able to attempt if you have this type of notebooks. And most importantly, you can able to write down the uses. How? Suppose in exam they ask, write down the uses of chloramine T, and you have habit to read repeatedly this classification, because already you are having only 100 pages notebooks, and at least you require only 35 to 40 pages to complete this all the exercise. And because of short notes, you will be able to revise it very smartly. So due to repeatedly reading, you will be able to remember that the chloramine T is under the category of antiseptic and disinfectant. Then you will be able to give the answer in your during viva or in your examination that the chloramine T is used as antiseptics and disinfectant. So at least you will be able to write down the one uses. Means you will be able to get half marks. Or if suppose the uses is for 1 mark, you will get definitely 1 mark. So from classification, we have to think differently. That is reversely. So if you, they ask the questions, write down the uses of nitrofuranzones, then you have to write down it is used as the antiseptics and disinfectant. And second thing, you have to one habit, that is repeatedly reading of syllabus copy. It is also very useful. Repeatedly reading of syllabus copy is very important to solve this type of questions, that is uses. That is in syllabus, they have given the number of drugs. So under sulfonamides, you have to read all the drugs. So during repeatedly reading, you come to know that these drugs are used as a sulfonamides, means they are used as antibacterial agents. It is useful in the treatment of bacterial infections. Like that, you can able to write the uses of that compound. So my point is that if you have this such a type of notebooks, or if you have started to take your own notes in that fashion, that is one page for pharmaceutical chemistry, another page for pharmacology, isn't it? And then definition and classification, then you will be able to attempt the first four type of questions, and most of the marks is covered in first four type of questions. So you have to first focus on definition, classifications, and in classifications, you have to mention the heterocyclic ring presence in that structure. If suppose the heterocyclic ring is not present, then you have to write down the functional groups. In this chlorocresols, I have not written any functional group because the name of class itself indicates that the what is present in their structure. That is, it contains the phenolic structures. That's why I have not mentioned anything in the bracket, because already it is explained in the name of class. So it will be very easy to remember the structure of chlorocresol if you know the structure of phenol. So if you follow this method, definitely it will be very useful to you. Okay. So next thing is remaining from 5th to 8th, that is properties, brand name, stability and storage and preparations. So here I will give you one tips to you, that is smart way to study. You have to prepare a table or charts chapter wise. Suppose first chapter is antiseptic and disinfectant. So from syllabus you can take the name of drugs and then prepare the one table stating that serial number, name of drugs, then write down its uses, then write down physical and chemical properties, then write down stability and storage condition, then write down different dosage forms, and then write down the popular brand name. If you create such a tables in another notebook, so that time you will be able to attempt this type of questions, and also you will be remember so which type of formulations are useful under that category. Because after completion of your diploma, some of you are going to start your own medical shop. So it is also very important to know the what are the different pharmaceutical formulations, that is dosage forms are available for that drugs, what are the brand names are available, what is the stability or storage condition is required for to store that particular drug. If you know these things, then you will be able to run your pharmacy very successfully, isn't it? If you know how to store the insulin, you can able to store it during your regular practice in medical shop. If you don't know, then suppose you will not keep it that particular insulin in the refrigerators or at specific storage condition, then ultimately their stability get lost, so you will get lost in your business. So if you want to run your pharmacy very successfully, each and every point in your syllabus is very important. Not only in for pharmaceutical chemistry, but for all other subjects also it is very important to run your pharmacy store very successfully. Again, I will repeat. So if you have these charts in front of you, so when you start your community pharmacy or your pharmacy store and just try to read that chart, you will come to know that the stability conditions, storage conditions, and popular brand name. Now also you can visit your medical shop, isn't it? And try to find out the popular brand name of your drugs which are given in your syllabus. So whenever you visited your medical shops, try to learn something new from medical shop, because you are not a normal customer. You are a pharmacist students, isn't it? So you have to visit the medical shop whenever you got time. Directly don't go today only, because nowadays it is not recommended to visit the medical shop frequently because this corona pandemic situation is there. So whenever if you have a chance to visit the medical shop, visit it and try to learn something new things which will be very useful for your pharmaceutical chemistry too, for your pharmacology, for your drugstore and business management, and for your pharmaceutical jurisprudence also. So try to think differently. Try to think smartly for your study purpose, for your knowledge purpose. Because if you have a good knowledge, definitely you will be successful in your career. So here suggestion is that you have to prepare a tables containing serial number, name of drugs, uses, physical and chemical properties, types of pharmaceutical formulations, popular brand names, and here another part, most important part from your question or from your syllabus is structure. See here, it is for 26 marks for summer examination and for winter examination is 37. Now I want a reply from you. How many of you have fear about the structure? If you have fear in your mind about the chemical structure, reply with yes. If you don't have fear in your mind, then reply with no. So be fast for your reply. So Suyog, Gaurav Patil say yes. Nirmala Varade no. Very good. So you are attending the lectures. Very good. Here is one reply in front of you. So most of you have fear in your mind, isn't it? Most of you have fear in your mind that. So first, most important thing I would like to share with you, whatever the you have fear in your mind. Don't think like that, because chemistry is a very interesting subject, and to draw the chemical structure is also very interesting. If you follow the instructions given by your teachers, definitely you will be able to remember the chemical structure very effectively, and you start to love this pharmaceutical chemistry two subjects. And you must having the interest in chemical structures. How? Let me take one example. Already I have shared this video, but again we will revise it. If you want to remember the chemical structures, you must able to write down the classifications. You must know the structure of heterocyclic ring, and then you able to remember the structure of drug. I will show you how. So as I have told earlier, you have to write the classification with the name of heterocyclic ring present in structures. Again, I will take the same example, that is antiseptic and disinfectant chapter. So you have to mention the heterocyclic ring present in the structure. If you have such a habits, then you have to follow the second steps, that is heterocyclic chemistry. So in heterocyclic ring system, you have to first draw the structure of heterocyclic ring present in that structure. So for proflavin, it is acridine, isn't it? And then just draw the structure of proflavin in front of acridine. Okay, just draw the structure. So you have to first draw the structure of heterocyclic ring and then draw the structure of proflavin, and then follow the third step, that is remember the structure. So you have to remember the changes or additional groups on heterocyclic ring. So you have the structure of acridine, you have drawn the structure of proflavin along with the numbering system. Okay, then you have to just observe the difference between these two structures, isn't it? If you have seen, I think Tare Zamin Pe movie, in that movie, at one step, the teacher and students, that is the main hero of that movie, and that students, that is Ishan, both they have just observed the pictures, isn't it? So similarly, you have to observe the structure of acridine and structure of proflavin, means structure of heterocyclic chemistry ring and structure of drug, and try to point out the changes in heterocyclic ring. So if you observe these structures very carefully, you will find out that there is additional NH2 groups at 3 positions and 6 positions. And rest of the structure is same. So if you know the structure of acridine, then it will be very easy to remember the structure of proflavin. Okay, means if you add the amino group, that is NH2 group, so you must know the name of group. So initially I have told that the basic of organic chemistry is very important, very essential to remember the chemical structure, isn't it? So if you know the amino group, then you will be, there is no need to draw the chemical structure repeatedly, because many of you students have habit to remember the mathematical formula or chemical structures by taking the number of papers and drawing the structures repeatedly without understanding, isn't it? So if you do that, definitely you will be able to forget that particular structure at the time of exam. But if you follow my method, if you follow this method, definitely it will be very useful. So see here, the amino group is attached at 3 positions and at 6 positions of acridine. So it will convert acridine to proflavin. So if you know the structure of acridine, it will be very easy to convert acridine to proflavin, isn't it? Is it so easy or it is so difficult? Just reply. I think it is very easy method to remember the chemical structures. I will give you how to remember the structure of acridine. Definitely. I will also give you the tips how to remember the structure of acridine. No doubt, when we are going to start the common heterocyclic system, that time I will give you the tips and tricks how to remember the structure of common heterocyclic ring system. So you have to follow these 4 steps. Just reply whether it is easiest way or effective way to remember the chemical structure, yes or no. So if you say no, then I will try to give another way. If you say yes, then we will have discussions of all the structures in our syllabus. So just reply on your chat box. Is it my screen is visible? Okay. I think we lost some. So here, from where we lost our screen? So I shown one screen to you. Whether we have discussed this? 10 minutes ago. Okay, okay, okay. So have you seen this screen? Okay. So we have discussed this part, structure part. Okay. The structure part is very important. That is 26 and 37 marks. Okay. Okay. From that point, we are starting our discussion again. So how to remember the chemical structures? That is, first you have to write down the classifications. Then you must mention the heterocyclic ring present in that structures, and then you have to draw the chemical structures. So here, first you have to write down the classifications with the name of heterocyclic ring present in the structures, like that antiseptic and disinfectant. So proflavin is the having the asterisk marks in their structure, and acridine is a heterocyclic ring present in their structures. Then you have to follow the step number 2, that is heterocyclic ring. In the heterocyclic ring, you have to first draw the structure of heterocyclic ring. Okay. Then you have to draw the structure of drug in front of heterocyclic ring or just below the heterocyclic ring. But remember that drawing of these 2 structures is on same page, because we have to observe the changes in that structure in next steps. Okay. So just draw the structure of both, that is heterocyclic systems and drug. Okay. Then follow the step 3. Step 3 is most important step, that is remember stage. That is, you have to remember the structure of drug now. But here is the effective way to remember the chemical structure. Just you have to observe the structure of heterocyclic ring and structure of drug, and try to point out the additional groups or the changes in the structure of heterocyclic ring, so that it will get converted to structure of drug. Okay. If you observe these structures, you will find out that additional 2 amino groups are attached. Additional 2 amino groups is attached onto the heterocyclic ring of acridine. So it will get converted to the structure of proflavin. Okay. So just amino group is attached at 3 number position and amino group is attached at 6 number position to the acridine ring. So it will get converted to the structure of proflavin. Okay. So for that purpose, you must know the NH2 group is called as amino group. So initially I told that the basics of organic chemistry or basics of functional group is very important to remember the chemical structure. So you must know the how the amino group is written. Okay, you must know the valency of nitrogen atom. You must know the valency of carbon atom. Okay, so just remembering the additional groups attached to the heterocyclic ring, then will be very easy to remember the chemical structure of proflavin. Okay, so here I will again explain the easiest way to remember the chemical structure if you know the structure of heterocyclic ring. So for that purpose, you must know the which heterocyclic ring present in that structure. Suppose in case of proflavin, it is containing the acridine. So step number 2 is you must know the structure of acridine. Acridine structure is like that. So during our regular lecture, we are going to discuss about how to remember the structure of heterocyclic ring. If you know the structure of anthracene, so see here anthracene having the 3 benzene ring fused together. And in the middle benzene ring, you have to just replace this carbon atom with nitrogen atom. It will convert it. That means anthracene is converted to the structure of acridine. So it is very easy. Whenever you are having chatting with your friends, so just discuss how to remember the structure of acridine. So just attach the 3 benzene ring to each others and replace the middle bottom carbon atom with nitrogen atom. So this is middle bottom carbon atom. Just replace with the nitrogen atom. So anthracene get converted to acridine. So it is very easy to remember the structure of acridine, isn't it? Yes or no? It's very easy to remember the structure of acridine. So if you know the structure of acridine, so just draw it and then go for the step number 3. That is structure of drug, and then draw the structure of proflavin. Once you have drawn the structure of proflavin, then try to